So is it possible to make residual income as a photographer or a filmmaker or somebody who has a creative business where you're a freelancer? The short answer is yes. The long answer is it might not be as easy as it sounds, but it is possible. So let's talk about that in today's video. So today we are going to be talking about stock photography and creating stock video. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Jonathan Moore. I'm a photographer and filmmaker, and I like to make videos like these for other photographers and filmmakers and people out there with creative businesses, just sharing tips, tricks, tools, and resources that I use in my business, strategies that are working and sometimes strategies that aren't working, because let's be honest, they don't all work. So if you like videos like that, be sure to give me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what's going on with you and your business. I would love to hear from you. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about creating stock photography and stock footage. Right now, this is something that I've known about for a long time. Now, I've been doing photography for a long time, doing photos, doing videos, or you know, all that stuff. I've been doing it for like a real long time, like over 15 years, right? Now, I've always known about stock photography, but I'm going to be honest, I'm brand new to the game. Now, here's the thing. I've only been doing my business full time for about 2 years now. So, you know, now I'm starting to look at these different type of revenue streams, or, you know, different type of income models that I can incorporate into my business. And stock photography is definitely one of them. Now, here's the thing. I've always known about stock photography. It's just that the reality is I never thought I was good enough to be a stock photographer. In all honesty, I never really knew how to get into stock photography. I mean, it's simple, right? I could have just easily like Googled how do you do stock photography or look something up on YouTube. But that was like years ago, like years and years ago, when I first found out about stock photography. And at the time I wasn't like super interested, but also too, I didn't think I was that good either. So I was like, would I even be, you know, would they even want my stuff? And then the next thing is like, what kind of pictures do they even want? Like, what could I sell? So, you know, when it comes to the stock photography game, like I've known about it for years, I just never jumped into it. But here's how we got to where we are today. So just a couple of months ago, a friend of mine was in town. I actually recorded a previous video with him on this channel where we talk about his photography business. He's out of Austin, Texas. He actually just got published in National Geographic. His name is Andrew Reiner. I'll leave descriptions for his work and his website or I'll leave a link in the descriptions below, but he's like really good. Now, he's the only person that I knew personally, right? Like I knew him, right? That was doing stock photography. And he's an amazing photographer, right? He's like one of those people, like, you know, y'all take a picture of the same thing and his shit is just like, it's just incredible. So he's a great photographer. So to me, I never thought that I was good enough. He was the only person I ever knew who was doing stock photography. And essentially I thought like, well, hell, I had to be on his level. Also too, it wasn't really a big interest of mine. You know, I was always, you know, working a full-time job for the most part. So it wasn't like, you know, I needed money from stock photography. And also when I was working, I wasn't shooting as much, right? I wasn't getting out and doing as many jobs and projects as I am now being full-time. So like, what kind of inventory did I really have? Either way, all of that aside, right? We got to talking. And, you know, actually that particular day, he had just sold a photograph on a stock website that he belongs to. Now, here's the funny part. The photograph that he sold was of his roommate, right, that I met when I went down to go visit him in Texas. And it actually went onto a cover of a French magazine, like a women's French magazine. So that was like pretty funny. Like if you knew who the person was, it was pretty funny. It's probably not as funny hearing it, but like, you know, one of those you had to be here type of things. But either way, that's not the point. What the point was is that he was making sales on those pictures that he did a while ago. Now, he had told me about stock photography before, but same thing, I just was like, you know, never really too interested in it, whatever the case may be. So the last time we got together, I started talking about the work that I've been doing for my clients lately. I've been doing a lot of video work as well, in addition to photography. And, you know, I started thinking about like, you know, man, you know, you're always like, it's great getting new work, right? It's great doing new jobs, but every time you get a new job, you get like bogged down with like more work, right? So I wanted to figure out like, man, is there a way that I can make like these like residual streams of income? You know what I'm saying? Like, Boom, voila, it turns out that he suggests stock photography again. Now, here's the difference. This time when he told me about it, this is how I looked at it. So, when you're doing photography, you're doing video, whatever the case may be, whenever you make something, right? That thing that you make, you own. That now turns into a digital asset or a hard copy asset, like if you make a print of it, right? But let's just say that you have some photographs that you take, right? And as soon as you take that photograph, as soon as you make that that film or short film, it could be whatever the case may be, right? You automatically own the copyright to that, right? So now that right there is a digital asset. Now, when you own the copyright to a particular piece of work, a piece of art or whatever it is, you can license that out for other people to use it. Now, this is the next step in your photography or your filmmaking game. You're gonna get into the whole licensing deal, right? So that's when you're gonna start to go after bigger clients. That's not so much on the local scene. So if you're just starting out and you're just doing things around your area, you know, licensing is probably not a topic that's gonna come up depending on your market. Once you start to graduate and grow and you learn about more and more about photography and about the game of photography or even filmmaking, then you learn about licensing. So basically, let's just say you take a picture, you create something, you create this right here. So now this is your copyright, this picture, this film, whatever the case may be. You know, that finished product, you own that product. Now, let's say I take some nice pictures of a young lady walking around in the park, whatever, right? I own the copyright to those images, and now I can allow other companies to use or to use that image for commercial purposes. So let's just say they like this image and they're like, oh man, this would be like really great on like a box of Kleenex or like a French women's magazine, you know, whatever, right? Some type of neck and spine injury or healthy living, right? Because she's happy and she's walking through the park, whatever the case may be. These advertisers will pay a fee to use that image, right? And it'll be either for a certain amount of time, and if they want the image exclusively, like they're like, yo, I love this, they can buy the license out straight from you. Now, the cool thing about this is that it presents a whole new opportunity and a brand new revenue stream that you can start to incorporate into your business, because essentially you already did the work up front. You already created the project, you already, you know, took the photos, you whatever the case may be, and you can put those up onto a stock website, and from there you can sell that image over and over and over and over for years to come, creating a nice little residual passive income stream. Now, to be honest, I just got into stock photography, so like I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like I know a lot about it, but I did check out some good videos on YouTube where I have been learning about it. There's a couple of guys who are actually making a lot of videos around this content, so I'll leave links in the description below for those guys. You know, some of them talk more so about stock photography, some of them talk about stock footage, so it's a nice little mix. Now, here's the thing. You got two different types of stock from what I'm learning. You got the micro stock and then you got the big stock. Micro stock are sites like shutterstock.com, 123RF, DreamsTime, you know, micro stock, right? You just like load up these pictures and like people can like download them and use them. And then you have the bigger stock companies where you can get like a nice little bit of coin for your images. Once again, like I said, I don't know every single thing about it. So what I'll start to do is take you on my journey as I learn more about stock photography. Now, real quick, I do have to tell you that I did start uploading a couple pictures to some stock websites, and like, dude, it is like super time consuming, yo. Like, it's like pain in the ass type of time consuming. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Like, it seems so cool. Now, here's the double-edged sword, right? Because it seems so cool, like, oh man, like, you know, especially, let's just say you've been doing photos for like a long time, like me, right? And, or not even that long of a time, but let's just say you just got a bunch of photos just sitting around on your hard drive, right? And some of these photos have the potential to make you money. So you're like, oh dude, this is so cool, you know? So you get onto these stock websites and you start looking at, you know, the whole uploading process and all that other junk, dude. And like, you know, I uploaded to a couple different websites and it's a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie. Simply put, pain in the ass. it's just so time consuming with the keywords and, you know, the descriptions, and every platform has their own thing. And listen, I guess, you know, it's like anything else. You just have to set time aside if you want to do it. So like, let's just say if you're like, yo, I'm gonna get serious about stock, which, you know, I'm like kind of at that point now where I'm like, you know what, I should take this a little bit more serious. Really what I have to do is just set aside time, you know, like once a week, spend a couple hours and just do stock uploading and keywording and all that other stuff. So figuring out some type of organizational flow that'll make it sustainable, because like, yeah, dude, like it's a pain in the ass. Now, I did hear about another site called Blackbox for the stock video footage, where you can have people help you out and you can just split the profit. So you can just load up the video and then somebody will keyword it, somebody will color correct it, and then you can just like split the profit with them. So that actually sounds like a pretty good option, because like 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So really, that's all I got for you guys today, and my thoughts on stock photography and trying to make residual income as a freelancer, photographer, filmmaker. Maybe you do graphic design. All these things are the same. You know, these pieces of work, this art that we create, you know, some of that stuff, man, is really like a digital asset, and it has some type of commercial value, and somebody would be willing to pay to use that. Now, it might not be a lot of money, but it might be a lot of people who want to use that particular image, what could make you a lot of money. So it's worth taking into consideration, especially if you just have pictures sitting around on a hard drive that's just like whatever, you know, it's just sitting there, maybe somewhere on your social media or in your website, but put it out there. I mean, you never know who's going to want to do it. Like I said, it's a bit of a time consuming process, but anything worthwhile is usually, or you can at least tell yourself that while you're doing this process. Or you can figure out other platforms like Blackbox, which I'm going to actually look into, because like I said, man, it's just time consuming, and 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So that is it. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If so, please leave me a like and drop me a comment. Are you using stock photography? Are you interested in doing it? Are you thinking about getting onto any of these stock websites? And if you already are, what websites do you belong to? Which ones do you see the best results from? And what are some tips and tricks that you've learned along the way that you could possibly share with me? Because that would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, until next time, people, signing out. Peace.